Rendo, let me welcome Jad Joram Wangira. I want to welcome you, introduce yourself, and then you contribute to the topic which we are discussing today. Raila Odinga plan to join GACHAGUA's team. Do you think that would be a good move, or what is your take? For me, I was saying, I think it is Baba's moment. Central Kenya would like to support Baba, at least one. And we don't have a strong candidate, or maybe because even the one we have, Gachagua, is having an impeachment. We don't know how he's going to navigate that. Kalonzo Musyoka has been wanting Raila Odinga to become the president of Kenya. He can continue supporting him. Should Raila Odinga abandon William Ruto and join Gachagua, or what do you think, Mr. Wangira?
Thank you very much, Jeff. Good evening, Mzalendo.
Good evening.
You know, long time ago, many years, I sat in an economics class, and we were taught something called diminishing returns. Yes. If you have done economics, you remember when that graph goes up, then it reaches a point where it can no longer continue, then it starts going down. Irrespective of whatever you do, it continues going down. That's what we call diminishing return. I tend to think that Raila Odinga has attained his diminishing return. How much he does, he has just attained his diminishing return. And where I stand today, I don't think that Raila Odinga wields that influence that perhaps he even wielded in 2022.
Yes.
It doesn't wield the influence that he even wielded in 2022. That where I stand, I don't see him wielding the same influence that he wielded in 2022. That tells you that his support as a politician has gone down. And there are various factors that have contributed to Raila Odinga, attaining diminishing return. One thing is, in politics, you must also learn to be consistent. And Raila Odinga has come out to be one of the most inconsistent politicians. And, a politician that, if you were to throw a few grains to him, then he forgets where he came from. And that has become a big disadvantage for Raila Odinga. We saw, Uhuru Kenyatta throwing small grains to him, and he forgot where he came from. And just a few months ago, William Samoei Ruto applied the same concept to Raila Odinga by throwing a few grains to him in the form of sponsoring him to run for the African Union Commission position. And you saw how he reacted. Yeah. So, where Raila now stands, his ground is very, very shaky. And, among those people who are convinced that, Raila Odinga is not in a position to even contribute for the victory of William Samoei Ruto come 2027. I'm not saying that William Samoei Ruto cannot win. He can win using his other ways. We are in Africa and people steal elections. But, if you was to depend entirely on Raila Odinga, then you lose the 2027 general election because there are many dynamics. For example, Muzalendo was saying that, Mount Kenya has never voted for Raila Odinga. I want to dispute that particular fact by giving the figures for the elections in 2022. Where 1.3 million people from Mount Kenya voted for Raila Odinga. That is a considerable big number compared to 50,000 that he used to get, 100,000 that he used to get previously. So that means that, in 2022, people were now buying into him. And that's why 1.3 million people from Mount Kenya came out to vote for Raila Odinga. That's a considerable big number. And I thought that he was going to I know If he was a clever politician, he could have noticed that, for the first time, these people are appreciating me. What do I do for them to appreciate me more? But politically, Raila Odinga missed. And there are 2 or 3 areas in which Raila Odinga missed in. The first area Raila Odinga missed in was by joining a battle that was not his. For example, for what benefit was Raila Odinga fronting, members of the ODM party to impeach Rigathi Gachagua? Of what benefit was it for Raila Odinga or for the ODM party? That was joining a battle that was not his. Secondly,
Yes.
Raila Odinga to have bought into this scheme of, going to vie for the African Union Commission chairmanship, that was another mistake. I was among those people. I used to be Raila Odinga's strong supporter until sometime in July last year, when I decided to take my own my another direction. And I was among those people who argued it, and I said Raila Odinga should concentrate towards rebuilding himself for 2027 than, running for a position that was inconsequential, where I stood. But, he didn't listen. Look at what it has done. It has left Raila Odinga as,
Yes.
So today, where we stand, there's a considerable number of Kenyans who are seeing Raila Odinga as a betrayer, who are seeing Raila Odinga as a political conman, who are seeing Raila Odinga as a political entrepreneur. And, those perceptions are not very good perceptions for Raila Odinga, because they're eating into his support. For example, the people of Ukambani who have supported Raila Odinga.
Mr. Joram, hold there just a little bit. Mzalendo, there are some people who are saying Raila Odinga is very old to contest in 2027. But I want to remind you that Joe Biden became the president of the United States when he was older than Raila Odinga. Actually, he was looking unstable than Raila Odinga. The other thing, Mzalendo, you have said that Raila Odinga has been in all these governments, and we can't see exactly the policies that he has implemented. But I want to remind you that one Emilio Mwai Kibaki was the deputy, not deputy, but vice president of Daniel Arap Moi. And when he was the deputy, the government of Moi was doing badly. But when he became the president, he did the best. He became the best president that Kenya has ever had. What is your take? What do you say about that, Mzalendo, before we go back to Joe?
Now, let me just start with your last point, like Emilio Mwai Kibaki